Yeah, Kathleen, thank you for joining us. I am just going to give a very quick introduction, although I don't think it's necessary as much, but please correct me if I'm wrong. In the research that I've done, that you are the general manager for Visa within specific European countries. So I have that as Romania, Croatia, Slovenia, and Bulgaria.
Correct.
And been with Visa since 2004.
Yes.
And I think that's really important to kind of mention, because you would have seen the transformation over the years of the, I suppose, the digital payments world. And I would love to kind of speak about your past experience, but I know that we've kind of framed this as a future-looking chat. So I think it's important to mention the fact that your leadership has really significantly kind of contributed to the region's transformation towards more of a cashless economy. But we want to focus a little bit more on AI in this kind of 10 minutes that we've got here. And Visa has been investing in AI for many, many years, particularly in risk management and fraud prevention. Maybe you can explain a little bit about how Visa's approach to AI today from a kind of strategic perspective. How does it look, and what are the most impactful AI-powered solutions that are in place that has really helped to develop Visa to protect the payments ecosystem?
So first of all, yes, I've been with Visa long enough to have seen quite a lot of changes throughout my career. I think at the beginning when I started, there was the volumes were pretty much limited to physical transactions. But as we went in the years, online commerce, e-commerce has really developed and has become one of the main engines of growth. We can still see that. I would say also the landscape has changed, whether when we started in the early years, this was just the environment for banks, traditional institutions. We now see lots of players, fintechs in particular, but also the tech giants like Google, Apple, Facebook. These were not players in the early times. Now they are significant players. Fintechs, neobanks have also sprung up and have changed the environment. So the whole list of stakeholders has changed. Also, regulation has increased significantly. Governments have intervened quite significantly in latter years. Having said that, when we talk about AI, it's worth saying that Visa maybe uniquely or part of a very few companies in the world has been using AI for over 30 years. And that it's in particular when we speak about fraud protection, anti-fraud systems, risk analysis, and so on. So we've been using AI for quite some time. What has changed over the years is the sophistication of the attacks and the sophistication and complexity of our prevention systems. And I can tell you now that every transaction that we process is analyzed in milliseconds by AI systems now, and analysis is performed instantly so that we can weed out transactions that are looking fraudulously from transactions that are maybe a little bit out of the pattern, but still valid transactions. So this helps us protect the system in a very sophisticated way, but at the same time increase the business by helping banks and helping issuers approve valid transactions, but still that maybe somehow look a bit out of the usual pattern. So for instance, if you've never been to Peru and all of a sudden are in Peru and you pay for lunch in Peru, the bank should not block your transaction simply because they've never seen you transacting in Peru.
And that's, I think, an important point, because at the end of it, there is a user who's tried to do something. And I'd like to focus a little bit on the customer. So the customer journey in particular, how has AI kind of helped to reshape the journey that the customer goes on, because it's not only kind of now changing how we pay, but also how we're shopping.
Yeah. No, basically AI and what we call agentic commerce is changing the whole journey of how we buy things, right? We are now searching on Google, for instance, for products, for solutions, etc. Over 50% now of e-com users are already using AI tools. So over 50% now globally are already using AI tools to search for products, to compare products, to get recommendations for the best product or solution or vacation service that they're looking for. What is missing now is the payment part. And this is where we come in, because it's important, and we're talking about trust. It's important for the issuing bank to understand that a payment that is initiated, it has been initiated by the valid cards holder. It's important for the merchant's bank to understand that this is a valid transaction and the merchant will be paid after providing the product or the good or the service. So all of this are talking about trust. How do we trust that everything that's going on now inside the agentic commerce ecosystem is valid? So that's why Visa is introducing trust protocols for agents. So agents will have to register with us to ensure the whole ecosystem that these are valid agents, number one. Then that number two, they are specifically following the intent of the consumer, and they're not going out of what the consumer intends. So basically, if you wish, and consumers are rightfully asking, how will I make sure that the agent is not going to go, not going to hallucinate and start to do things? So number one, it's important to understand that the card transactions will not be passed on. The agents will operate with tokenized information. So the card transactions will not be passed on. Secondly, the consumer will be asked at the final end of the payment initiation to authorize the payment. The agent is not being given access to our cards and will just go on and make the payment. The consumer can set up limits for the payment, so not more than 200 euros. The consumer can set up limits on which merchants can, or merchant category can the good or service be provided by. The consumer can set up limits for the price. So a consumer, is important to understand, will continue to remain in control, and the agent will just assist in all of this, let's say, transaction of payment.
Okay, so we've spoken a little bit about the role of the AI and the role of the agents. We've looked at how Visa is already using it, and as you said, has been for 30 years now.
Yeah.
We've looked at the customer. I'd like to change the focus just a little bit and talk about maybe the bigger picture. You've got your eye over a number of countries within Europe, and you've seen over the years how the changes have appeared, and obviously it's a lot faster now. I mean, Europe, especially this side of Europe, has a really dynamic and fast evolving payments landscape. I think we're seeing that from a lot of the talks that are happening here as well. And there's a strong momentum around digital innovation and the kind of expectations from businesses and consumers alike. How are you seeing, or maybe you speak from a Visa's perspective, how do you see the kind of long-term role in supporting the continued evolution of the payment systems in Europe? You've spoken about the ecosystem that's already here. How is it going to evolve, and what key areas can you see Visa really bringing in true value?
I think it's very important to understand for the audience and those who are not following us, closely. Visa has been changing from a card payments company into a payment technology company. We are no longer just in the business of card payments. We are in the business of moving money from person to person, from person to business, whether it's a payment from person to government, government to persons, government to businesses, businesses to government. So all flows domestic, all flows cross-border from country to country. It's also important to understand that, as I mentioned, we are no longer just facilitating card payments. We are facilitating account to account payments, card and account to wallet payments. It's important to understand that in Asia, for instance, they don't have accounts. The mass consumers have wallets offered by non-banks, all sorts of companies. So if you want to take an example, in all of our markets in Eastern Europe, we have a problem with labor. So we are bringing in foreign workers, particularly from Asia. These people send a lot of money back home to their families. They receive their salary here on a card account or current account. They are sending money to their digital wallets back in Nepal, Vietnam, Philippines. We are able to facilitate these money movements, and it happens instantly. Secondly, Visa has also diversified its offering to its clients, and its clients have now no longer are just banks, but as I mentioned, new clients like fintechs, merchants have now been deemed clients, governments. We are offering a large suite of services such as consulting, marketing, different services in the area of fraud and anti-fraud and risk management and so on. So we're not only having this card rails, but also we're looking at other rails and other services that are open not only to our traditional clients, but to other clients and non-clients. For instance, we are providing tourism data to governments on the basis of which they can act and target, their marketing where you have tourist countries.
And you're specifically just using AI for even that to kind of pass data on?
AI is underlying most of our services now. So it's no longer fraud fighting, but it's also providing, as I mentioned, the underpinnings of the new commerce, online commerce, but also all of this data that we sit on. You have to understand, we process over 300 billion transactions. All of this means lots of data. We are using AI to analyze this data and provide potentially within the legal limits different types of data to different stakeholders.
It's really interesting to hear how you kind of process all of as I said, so many transactions into meaningful data. The last question from me is simply, you have been using AI for a number of years. How do you manage to motivate the internal, the stakeholders, but also the people who work for Visa? Let's say, how do you bring people along the AI journey with you? How do you, the culture is important. So how are you building that internally to make sure that you're getting people on board?
First of all is providing access. All of our employees have access to a number of agents. So, you have ChatGPT, you have Copilot, you have Gemini, etc., etc. Secondly, we are actively encouraging our employees to get into the training courses that we provide. There's ample training that's provided to all of the employees. And we are, again, encouraging employees to utilize the agents to do their work faster and easier. You have to understand that all of our employees have access to an amazing volume of data. Again, sifting through that data, and whether it's putting together a presentation, putting together a narrative, a pitch to a client, research, that all can be done much faster, as we know, and to a much better quality using the agent. So all of these, and we even have internal hackathons, if you wish, and various contests on how to best use AI in our daily work, with appealing reward. So the employees are really incentivized are given access and are incentivized to train themselves and utilize AI in every aspect of their work.
And it sounds like it's extremely kind of encouraging and engaging internally.
My intro speech was done with the help of AI.
There you go.
So I'm following the company policy too.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for your time. And I look forward to speaking again in the future and hearing another 30 years of incredible AI usage from Visa.
Thank you so much, Aman.